Your true wealth is your time and freedom. Money is just a tool for trading your time. It's a container to store your economic energy until you're ready to deploy it. But the whole world has been turned away from real money and has been fooled into using currency. A deceitful imposter that is silently stealing your two most valuable assets, your time and your freedom. Welcome to the rabbit hole.
Hello everyone, Cedric here. Story time. In 2011, a Chinese netizen asked in a forum, what should a college student do if he has 6,000 yuan to invest? Roughly, at the time, it should be around 600 USD. And there was a comment right below from Zhang Jia, the founder of 8BTC, the oldest and most influential independent platform for Bitcoin, blockchain and crypto in the Chinese community at the time. And what did he say? He told him to buy Bitcoin. Zhang Jia was ridiculed by many people at that time because the price of Bitcoin was only about $3. But if this student bought all 6,000 yuan of Bitcoin at the time, he would have been a millionaire by now. Spoiler alert, he most likely didn't. And even if he did really listen to the advice and bought Bitcoin at the time, it's very likely that he would have sold them later, either because there were no improvement in the price of Bitcoin for a long time. At the time, in 2011, I think nearly all the year, except June, the price was around $2 or $3 all year long. Or maybe he would have sold everything a few years later when Bitcoin rose to hundreds of dollars. Anyway, that's another topic. What I want to tell you about today is that I think in 2011, no one thought that one day Bitcoin would reach a high price of 60,000 or 70,000 US dollars we can see nowadays. These students could not have imagined that. And the people answering below the original post probably could not either. Why? Because even in 2024, after all the information and experience we've gathered, some people still have the same view on Bitcoin. Stuff like, this is a Ponzi scheme. It's just a game of passing the ticking bomb and we'll see who gets caught when it explodes. It's something only fools would believe in. Stuff like that. They just can't understand why something so intangible, something they can't see or touch, could have such high value. Well, today I'm going to break down the fundamental logic behind why Bitcoin has skyrocketed thousands of times in just a few short years. So, if you have friends who are skeptical about Bitcoin and you're not sure how to explain it to them, trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be able to explain it to them clearly, in no time. So without further ado, let's officially begin. But before we dive in, we first need to understand what money is. Only when we grasp the basic logic of money will the reason for Bitcoin high value become clearer. The video clip at the start of this video is actually the opening scene from a world-class financial documentary called Hidden Secrets of Money. You can find it on YouTube. If you're interested, you can check it out. Some of my thoughts and inspiration for today's discussion come directly from this documentary. So, let's start now. I'd like to first ask you, how much money do you have on you right now? You might say, I have 10,000 USD in my bank account that I can spend with my debit card and 200 in cash in my wallet. Or maybe a little bit more cash. Or maybe less. Then let me ask you a question. Do you really own this money? Let's talk about the deposit in the bank first. If you have a little financial knowledge, you should know that this money will not be kept in the bank's safe or vault when you deposit it. Your bank, after retaining the deposit reserve ratio specified by the central bank, they will just use most of your money to issue loans. Yes, your money, our money, is actually used by the bank to make money. And one of the main ways for banks to make profit is to earn the interest difference between deposits and loans. In other words, the bank does not really keep our money, but takes all the money to lend it and make more money. So the money we deposit in the bank is essentially a debt certificate from the bank to us. Or to put it more simply, it's an IOU issued by the bank to us. In theory, we can go to the bank to exchange this IOU at any time, so the balance on our bank card is actually the IOU issued by the bank to me. Alright, but what about cash then? Some people may say that, yes, that belongs to me, right? Sorry to disappoint you, but in today's world, all paper currency is essentially the debt of the issuing bank. It doesn't represent actual goods or products, and the issuer is under no obligation to convert the currency into tangible assets. Its value is only upheld by the government laws and regulations that allow it to function as a medium of exchange. However, if the government collapses, that money turns into nothing more than a piece of paper. We've seen that. That's why we say in times of chaos, hoard gold. This is because throughout history, no matter what kind of currency was used, it was always tied to gold. Countless fiat currencies have disappeared over time. That's a fact. But gold remains. So, based on this information, we can draw a conclusion. Whether it's our bank balance or cash, these are essentially IOUs issued to us by various institutions. And we know that whenever there's borrowing, there's always a risk of default. Inflation is actually the gentlest form of default. The government prints more and more money, diluting the value of the bonds, the money we hold, and devalues the currency by increasing its supply. And because both the government and the bank are centralized institutions, they can almost effortlessly, or with minimal justification, make entries in the ledger as they wish. We have no way of knowing what our money is being used for, or worse, without us even realizing it, the money we should rightfully own is being diluted, causing its value to decrease. So, at this point, what we would need is a currency or ledger that no individual or institution can tamper with at will to ensure the value of the money we hold. Gold used to be the best option for this. It requires very little space to store a large amount of value. It's the same anywhere on Earth, meaning the value of gold in China is the same as in the US, France, or New Zealand. It's durable and doesn't corrode. The gold used in Egyptian trade over 5,000 years ago still exists today. And with gold, what's good too, its total supply is almost fixed because it was formed during supernova or neutron star collisions, whatever. Which means the amount of gold on Earth is finite. Even if some of it hasn't been mined yet, it is finite. But gold, even if it was used as it before, it's not the best currency. First, it's a physical object. Some may find it heavy, but the main problem, I think, is it has a high risk of being stolen. It also faces challenges like accounting. It's not that easy to divide either. So, if something could inherit the advantages of gold while effectively overcoming its shortcomings, what could be more suitable as a currency than it? Let's make a simple summary. What characteristics does this ideal currency need to meet? First, decentralization. We have that with gold. Okay. Second, security. Not that safe for gold. 3, scarcity. Okay. 4, convenience. 5, fast to transact with. And 6, divisibility. That's under such demand that artificial gold, Bitcoin, was born. It meets all the above characteristics because it's a currency based on blockchain technology. As we all know, blockchain can simply be described as a ledger that everyone holds. Every transaction is synchronized to each person's ledger, meaning the entire world is helping you keep track of your transactions, unlike traditional online payments, where only you and the bank know what transaction occurred. Blockchain ensures that when a transaction is made, anyone can see where the money comes from and where it goes. No one can take your money and do something else with it without your permission or knowledge. No one. Let that be clear. And moreover, from the moment Bitcoin was created, it was destined to exist as long as the Earth does, unless we all stop using, like, internet and electricity, of course. But We all know that's impossible. And compared to gold, the circulation of Bitcoin is more convenient. We only need to know the address of the recipient to transfer Bitcoin accurately, without worrying about exchange rates, intermediary banks, or having to present any unnecessary proof. It perfectly meets the characteristics of decentralization, scarcity, security, convenience, anonymity, and so on. These also form the underlying logic of Bitcoin and establish its status as digital gold. And as more and more people buy Bitcoin as a hedge, its liquidity is also increasing. That's a good characteristic to note too. And in economics, there is an interesting fact. Circulation brings value. To put it more simply, the more people that participate and recognize it, the higher its value becomes. Wars, epidemics and disease, inflation, and various other factors often place the global economy in an unstable state. Every fiat currency carries the risk of devaluation, so Bitcoin is rising in value in this process. In this current environment, Bitcoin is increasingly gaining people's confidence. It offers us a new choice, a more vibrant vehicle, especially in the face of inflation and currency devaluation, making our wealth more secure. As more investors, businesses, and governments enter this market and use it as a hedge, Bitcoin can play a more important role in the global economy and exert a greater impact. Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009, and now 15 years have passed. In just 15 years, Bitcoin's value has risen from 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas, to over 60,000 today, with an unprecedented market capitalization. Companies like Tesla, Block, and Coinbase have become its loyal supporters. I personally believe that as the market develops, the appreciation of Bitcoin is a certainty, but the risks are equally significant. As we can see, sometimes the price can drop sharply by thousands of dollars. Therefore, if we do not have the ability to withstand such risk, we still should approach it with caution, of course. But anyway, I'm just sharing my opinion here. It's not an investment advice, NFA, I hope everyone will remember to stay cautious at any time, very cautious when thinking about their investments. Would it be Bitcoin or anything else? Today, what I wanted to say is just, no, it's not a Ponzi scheme or some crazy stuff. It is a serious alternative to fiat and gold, and it is growing very, very fast. Well, that's all for today. If you have any questions or disagreements about anything I said in this video, please tell me in the comments section. Also, remember to subscribe if that's not the case already. I have still a lot more to share with you. So, I'll just see you in the next video. Bye bye.